Homelessness in Ontario is exploding faster than anyone expected, and the numbers for 2026 are nothing short of alarming. Once stable cities are now seeing tents under bridges, families living in cars, and shelters overflowing every night. From big urban centers to small northern towns, the crisis is spreading in ways most people never imagined.
You won't believe which city ranks on top. It will surprise you.
Stay tuned as we count down 10 Ontario cities with the fastest rising homeless rates. And if you care about housing, community, or truth, hit that like button and subscribe right now so you don't miss what's coming next. Number 1. Toronto. Once Canada's crown jewel of prosperity, Toronto now stands at the epicenter of Ontario's homelessness crisis. Once the city everyone moved to for opportunity, it's now the one thousands are quietly leaving behind. The skyline still gleams, but beneath those towers, shelters overflow and encampments stretch across parkland once known for weekend picnics. Population approximately 3.2 million, 2026 estimate. Area approximately 243 square miles, 630 kilometers squared. Population density 13,100 people per square mile. Median household income approximately $92,000. Median home price $1.16 million estimate. Average rent for a one-bedroom $2,750. Toronto's winters are bone-chilling, often plunging below -10 degrees Celsius with damp lake winds that cut through layers of clothing. Summer heat waves are worsening too, pushing temperatures above 33 degrees Celsius and creating year-round risks for those sleeping rough. The job market looks strong on paper, finance, tech, healthcare, but gig work dominates for thousands. Inflation and stagnant wages mean even full-time workers can't afford rising rents. Toronto lost more affordable units than it built for the fifth straight year in 2026. Transit remains world-class but costly, and average commute times exceed 45 minutes. Utilities climbed 11% in 2025 alone, and grocery inflation compounds the housing stress. Toronto's shelter capacity has reached emergency levels, averaging 95% occupancy nightly. There's still unmatched diversity, endless food culture, and international appeal. For visitors, it's electric until you look closer. Toronto still dazzles outsiders, but for thousands trapped between rent hikes and shelter waitlists, Canada's biggest city has become the hardest one to call home.
Number 2. Ottawa. Canada's capital has always symbolized order, stability, and security. But behind Parliament Hill's polished facade, Ottawa is now confronting a homelessness crisis growing faster than at any point in its history. The city's 2026 count shows more people sleeping outdoors than ever before, proof that even government towns aren't immune. Population approximately 1.1 million, 2026 estimate. Area approximately 1,100 square miles, 2,791 kilometers squared. Population density approximately 1,020 people per square mile. Median home income approximately $97,000. Median home price approximately $720,000. Average one-bedroom rent approximately $2,050. Enter some of Ontario's harshest winters, with snow depths reaching 40 centimeters and nights plunging to -25 degrees Celsius. Spring thaw brings flooding downtown, destroying temporary encampments and forcing hundreds into overfilled shelters. Anchored by government and tech, Ottawa's employment looks stable, but many new roles are short-term contracts. The shift to hybrid work reduced downtown commerce, leaving service workers struggling. High housing demand from newcomers adds pressure to an already thin rental market. In 2026, Ottawa's official homeless population passed 3,400 people, up 60% from 2023. Rents rose 10% year over year, while available affordable units fell by 1,200. Transit expansions continue, but suburban sprawl isolates low-income households from job centers. Ottawa still charms with its green parks, bike paths, and sense of calm compared to Toronto's pace. For families and professionals, it's peaceful and picturesque. Ottawa's image of order is cracking. Behind the polished facade of Canada's capital lies a rapidly growing population with no address and fewer options every year.
Number 3. Hamilton. Once the pride of Ontario's steel belt, Hamilton is now battling a surge in homelessness that's transforming its downtown core. The city that built Ontario's economy is now struggling to house its own workers. Encampments line the escarpment trails and empty lots, while social agencies warn they're at breaking point. Population, approximately 593,000. Area, approximately 436 square miles, or 1,130 square kilometers. Density, approximately 1,360 people per square mile. Median household income, approximately $84,000. Median home price, approximately $790,000. Average one-bedroom rent, approximately $2,050. Estimate. Winters in Hamilton bring biting winds from Lake Ontario and freezing fog that clings to the harbor. Summer humidity pushes the heat index past 35 degrees Celsius, making both seasons tough for people living outdoors. The steel industry that once defined Hamilton has shrunk to a fraction of its former size. While the city's health and education sectors have grown, many of the new jobs are contract-based or low pay. The result? Working homelessness is now common. People with jobs but no stable address. Housing demand from Toronto commuters has driven prices up 130% since 2016. In 2026, Hamilton recorded more than 1,900 homeless residents, up 35% in 3 years. Utilities, groceries, and even transit passes keep rising, stretching already thin budgets. Despite the hardships, Hamilton still has character. Waterfalls, revitalized art districts, and easy access to nature. For many, it's still Ontario's best blend of grit and beauty. Hamilton remains proud and resilient, but for a growing number of locals, pride doesn't pay rent. The city that once forged Canada's steel is now struggling to forge hope for its own residents.
Number 4. London, Forest City. Known as the Forest City, London was long celebrated for its peaceful neighborhoods and university town charm. But by 2026, that postcard image is colliding with a harsh new reality. Homelessness here has exploded faster than any mid-sized city in Ontario. Downtown tent villages are now a daily sight, and locals say it feels like the crisis arrived overnight. Population, approximately 435,000. Area, approximately 163 square miles or 423 square kilometers. Density, 2,670 people per square mile. Median household income, approximately $81,000. Median home price, approximately $640,000. Average one-bedroom rent, approximately $1,950. Estimate. London's winters are cold and damp, with frequent snow squalls sweeping in from Lake Huron. The average January low sits around -11 degrees Celsius, and shelters often turning people away during cold alerts. Summers bring relief, but also floods that displace encampments near the Thames River. London's economy has shifted toward healthcare, education, and light manufacturing, but automation and post-pandemic layoffs hit hard. By 2026, over 40% of renters were spending more than a third of their income on housing. Despite its lower costs compared to Toronto, London's rents rose 9% in 2025 alone. Shelter spaces are full, and many residents rely on emergency motel programs. Housing supply simply can't keep up with demand. London still offers leafy neighborhoods, Western University's vibrant culture, and a relaxed pace that draws retirees and families alike. It's a beautiful city, if you can afford it. London remains green and livable for some, but for hundreds of residents left on waiting lists or sleeping in tents, Ontario's Forest City now feels more like a wilderness with no shelter in sight. Number 5. Kingston. Famous for its historic charm and lakeside beauty, Kingston has quietly become one of Ontario's fastest-rising homelessness hotspots. Once a balanced blend of university town and retirement haven, Kingston now faces a crisis that's outpacing its size and resources. Population approximately 145,000, area approximately 176 square miles, density approximately 825 people per square mile. Median household income approximately $83,000. Median home price approximately $620,000. Average one-bedroom rent approximately $1,950 estimate. Kingston sits on Lake Ontario's edge, meaning winters are long, windy, and damp. Wind chill values near -20 degrees Celsius aren't unusual, and those without shelter face brutal exposure. Summers, though scenic, are humid and unforgiving under 30 degrees Celsius heat waves. The city's backbone industries are education, healthcare, and public service, yet many jobs are part-time or temporary. Tourism adds income, but only seasonally, leaving hundreds unemployed each winter. The gap between wages and rents is widening fast. Despite its size, Kingston's rental market is tight. Vacancy sits below 1.5%. The city's official 2026 homeless count surpassed 430 people, up 58% since 2023. Rising food and transit costs amplified the struggle for those on fixed or minimum incomes. It's a stunning place. Limestone architecture, waterfront parks, Queen's University, and cultural festivals make Kingston a gem of Eastern Ontario. Kingston's beauty masks a growing emergency. Behind the historic streets and lakefront sunsets, more residents each year are sleeping rough in one of Canada's most picturesque cities.
Number 6. Windsor. Across the river from Detroit, Windsor has always lived in the shadow of economic highs and lows. But in 2026, the city's homelessness surge is rewriting its story entirely. Affordable housing that once defined Windsor's appeal is now slipping out of reach. Population, approximately 238,000. Area, approximately 147 square miles or 381 square kilometers. Density, approximately 1,620 people per square mile. Median household income, approximately $77,000. Median home price, approximately $520,000. Average one-bedroom rent, approximately $1,800 estimate. Windsor's winters are milder than much of Ontario, but still harsh for anyone without shelter. Temperatures around -10 degrees Celsius and damp lake winds make it dangerous. Summers are scorching, often topping 35 degrees Celsius with high humidity. The auto industry once powered Windsor's prosperity. Today, automation and U.S. trade fluctuations leave jobs uncertain. Even with EV manufacturing investments, many residents work short-term contracts. Homelessness has climbed nearly 40% since 2023. Windsor's lower housing costs once drew people from Toronto and Hamilton. Now, demand from newcomers and investors has driven rents to record highs. Shelters report full capacity nightly, and waiting lists for subsidized housing stretch beyond 18 months. Windsor still has perks. The riverfront views, diverse dining, and cross-border culture give it a unique vibrancy. The city's community spirit remains strong even through hard times. Windsor may have once been the affordable alternative, but those days are gone. For too many residents, the line between struggling and homeless is thinner than ever.
Number 7. Sudbury. Tucked deep in northern Ontario's rocky landscape, Sudbury was built on mining. But in 2026, the city's biggest resource shortage isn't nickel, it's housing. Despite its rugged beauty and strong community spirit, homelessness here has spiked faster than local programs can handle. Population approximately 165,000. Area approximately 1,240 square miles or 3,210 kilometers square. Density approximately 133 people per square mile. Median household income, approximately $82,000. Median home price, approximately $490,000. Average one-bedroom rent, approximately $1,700 estimate. Sudbury faces some of Ontario's harshest winters. Temperatures plunge below -25 degrees Celsius, with snow piling up to 100 inches per year. For those without stable housing, even one night outside can be life-threatening. Mining and energy jobs still anchor Sudbury's economy, but both industries are increasingly automated. Service jobs don't pay enough to cover modern rents. As the population grows and wages stagnate, many workers find themselves priced out of their own city. With limited public transit and a sprawling layout, getting around Sudbury without a car is tough. Vacancy rates are under 2%, and rent support programs are overwhelmed. Shelters and warming centers fill up nightly as inflation pushes costs higher. The city is surrounded by lakes, trails, and forests, paradise for nature lovers. Laurentian University and Science North give Sudbury a strong educational base and lively art scene. Sudbury is a city that built Canada's industry, but now its workers can't afford a place to live in it. The cold here isn't just in the air, it's in the housing market too.
Number 8. Thunder Bay. At the edge of Lake Superior, Thunder Bay feels both wild and worn. Breathtaking nature meets deep economic struggle. Once a bustling port and paper town, it's now facing one of Ontario's steepest homelessness climbs per capita in 2026. Population, approximately 110,000. Area, approximately 330 square miles. Density, approximately 333 people per square mile. Median household income, approximately $76,000. Median home price, approximately $440,000. Average one-bedroom rent, approximately $1,600 estimate. Winters here are punishing. Frigid Arctic winds from Lake Superior often drop temperatures below -30 degrees Celsius. Even shelters struggle to meet heating demand during prolonged cold snaps. Summers, while short, bring waves of humidity and black flies. The city's forestry and shipping industries have declined for decades. While healthcare and education keep some stability, the loss of blue-collar jobs has hollowed out the middle class. Many residents now rely on food banks or temporary work. Despite its remote setting, Thunder Bay's rent prices have soared, a side effect of limited housing supply and migration from smaller northern communities. Social services are stretched thin, and homelessness among Indigenous residents has more than doubled since 2022. For those who can afford it, Thunder Bay offers stunning lake views, easy access to nature, and a tight-knit sense of community. Outdoor life is unmatched. Hiking, fishing, and northern lights are part of daily life. Thunder Bay's beauty hides deep economic wounds. In 2026, it's a city caught between breathtaking horizons and a homelessness crisis that grows colder by the day.
Number 9. Oshawa. Once the symbol of Canadian manufacturing pride, Oshawa is now facing a different kind of crisis, one not in the factory floor, but on the streets. Once known for stable auto jobs and affordable homes, the city has become one of Ontario's fastest-growing homelessness zones in 2026. Population, approximately 185,000. Area, approximately 61 square miles, or 158 kilometers squared. Density, approximately 3,000 people per square mile. Median household income, approximately $91,000. Median home price, approximately $720,000. Average one-bedroom rent, approximately $2,100. This is an estimate. Winters in Oshawa are cold and slushy, with average lows around -12 degrees Celsius, and frequent freezing rain. For those living in cars or encampments, icy sidewalks and relentless wet snow make daily survival brutal. Summers bring brief relief, but high humidity. Once fueled by GM's auto plants, Oshawa's job base has shifted towards logistics, retail, and service work. While tech and construction bring some growth, wages haven't kept up with Toronto's sprawl-driven rent boom. Many displaced renters from the GTA are competing for limited affordable units. Oshawa's rental crisis is now among the worst in Durham region. Vacancy rates below 1% have driven homelessness up 45% since 2023. Shelter beds fill nightly, and waiting lists for subsidized housing now exceed 2,000 applicants. The city still has charm: Lakeview Park, new downtown cafes, and strong community pride. Proximity to Toronto makes it a commuter favorite for those who can still afford the ride. Oshawa once promised opportunity. Now it's a cautionary tale. For many residents, the factory jobs are gone, and so is the affordable life they built. Number 10. Brantford. Known as the hometown of Wayne Gretzky, Brantford was once a symbol of small city success. But in 2026, this southern Ontario hub is facing a homelessness surge that stunned even longtime locals. Population, approximately 110,000. Area, approximately 34 square miles, or 88 kilometers squared. Density, approximately 3,235 people per square mile. Median household income, approximately $84,000. Median home price, approximately $640,000. Average one-bedroom rent, approximately $1,950. This is an estimate. Brantford's winters hover around -10 degrees Celsius, often damp and icy, while summers reach 30 degrees Celsius. While not as extreme as the north, cold snaps can still turn deadly for those without shelter. The city's manufacturing routes have thinned, replaced by warehouses and call centers that offer inconsistent pay. Even full-time workers are struggling to cover rent. The 2026 point-in-time count found homelessness up 60% in just 3 years, one of Ontario's fastest jumps. Brantford once lured families from the GTA for its affordability. Now outside investors and demand from nearby Hamilton have pushed housing costs to record highs. Shelters are beyond capacity, and many residents rely on churches or pop-up warming spaces. The city's river trails, history, and community pride remain strong. Brantford still offers a slower, friendlier pace of life for those who can hold on to housing. Brantford's story is heartbreaking and familiar, a small city priced out by growth it couldn't control. For too many residents, the telephone city has gone silent on affordable living. So, what do all these cities have in common? Ontario's homelessness crisis isn't just about the cold. It's about costs rising faster than paychecks, shelters stretched to the limit, and housing dreams fading into headlines. From Toronto's sprawl to Thunder Bay's frozen streets, the 2026 numbers paint one truth: no corner of this province is immune. Behind every statistic is a story: a family priced out, a worker sleeping in their car, a senior choosing between heat or rent. These aren't just big city problems anymore, they're everyone's backyard. If this video opened your eyes to how deep this crisis runs, hit that like button. It helps more people see what's really happening across Ontario. And don't forget to subscribe. We have more hard-hitting stories coming about the hidden struggles shaping Canada's future. Which city on this list shocked you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We read every one.